Hi, I'm Dr. Sapphire, email marketing strategist and educator, and I am committed to making email marketing simple and profitable for you through my online email marketing school, Sapphire Learning Hall. You can find the link in the show notes. Fun fact, I'm an obstetrician gynecologist resident in training. Yes, I'm an actual practicing medical doctor. Email marketing experiments was born out of the desire to share behind the scenes of failed and successful email marketing campaigns. Simply put, what we've tried, not just me, but me and every guest I bring on the show, what we've tried that has worked or didn't work. So instead of just thinking it and testing it, we're committed to also sharing the BTS with you on this podcast. Come join us behind the scenes. And one more thing, as you listen, if you're a freelancer, service provider, or business owner, go ahead and check the show notes for the gift I kept for you. You'll find it under the title Gift. Now let's go behind the scenes. Hi, welcome back to Email Marketing Experiments, and today is a solo episode. Now, this episode is specifically about the email marketing mentorship, our mentorship program that holds once a year. Now, if you want to break into email marketing, if you want to start, grow, or transition into email marketing, and you've been wondering how to get started, how to improve, if there are any prospects in email marketing, what the career pathway is like, how much you're going to be paid, then stay with me because today I'm going to be answering all of those questions and telling you how you can accelerate your journey. Now, let me ask you, where are you on your journey today? Are you the searcher? You're curious, a bit lost, you don't have a clue where to start? Or you're the voyager? You've begun learning, but you need a roadmap. Or maybe you're already an explorer. You've seen results, your first client, your first sale, and now you need momentum. Regardless of where it is you are and where you want to be in the next 3, 6, and 12 months from today, the email marketing mentorship is the program that's going to push you until something happens in your email marketing journey. It is the mentorship program that actually holds your hand so that you get to where it is you want to be. Now, you already know what email marketing is, you're interested in it, but you have questions. In short, I know that you've probably taken courses, watched a lot of YouTube videos, and maybe, like some of my past students, you've taken courses that promised to hold your hand and they didn't. Courses where you felt at the end of the day cheated, scammed, and so you're skeptical and your trust levels are low. I understand and it's fine, which is why I'm taking out time to do this episode telling you about the email marketing mentorship. Now, before I go any further, here's what I'm going to tell you about today. I'm going to tell you about the email marketing mentorship, what it entails. I'm going to allow you listen to somebody who went through the mentorship and who has experienced it. So you get to hear directly from the horse's mouth. So it's not me telling you this is it. You're listening to somebody who did the 12 weeks of intense work and you're going to hear their experience. And then at the end, I'm going to give you a special gift, a special discount code for listening to this episode, which you can use to get into the email marketing mentorship. The email marketing mentorship is going to kick off on the 19th of January 2026. If you're listening to this after then you can go ahead to join the waitlist for next year, which will be the class of 2027, right? The links will all be in the show notes. Now, let's get into it. What exactly is the email marketing mentorship and why do we even have it in the first place? The email marketing mentorship started because of my own journey and started way back in was that 2022 now? Yes. So it started back then, and we've gone on to hold 2 cohorts, 3 cohorts, 4 cohorts, 5 cohorts of the email marketing mentorship. And these cohorts, across these 5 cohorts, we have mentored 119 people across Africa, majorly Asia, and Europe. The email marketing mentorship is to help you get paid to manage email lists for local and foreign clients. So if you're wondering, how do I monetize email marketing? What are the career pathways in email marketing? In the mentorship, there are 3 core industries we focus on because across board, businesses can be in the e-commerce space, in the online business space, in the software as a service, which is the SaaS space, and of course, we have brick and mortar. But we focus on the first 3 because that's where the majority of people want to work. They want to work remotely and online. And if you can work in these first three industries, you can also work in the brick and mortar, because a lot of times the brick and mortar business, with the advent of technology, now also function in one of these other three areas by virtue of how their business model is. So if you're thinking career pathways, you can choose to work in-house, like one of our guest experts which came last year that talked about how you can work in-house. So you're employed by somebody to work as an email marketer. You can choose to freelance. You can choose to work in an agency. You can choose to work as a contractor, independent contractor, or you can choose to be self-employed, right? Or employed by somebody. So these are all different ways you can choose to work. Now, when it comes to the email marketing industry, sometimes people feel it's saturated. There are so many people. I told people during the webinar I had the last webinar I had, I said, when you walk on the streets, there are a lot of gas stations, there are a lot of fuel stations, and you probably see them building more fuel stations. Why? Why is it that they don't say, oh, there are so many, maybe every how many kilometers you see a station? Why is it that you don't see people say, oh, I don't want to do this anymore? It's because there are opportunities. There are so many opportunities. And depending on what you do, you can leverage it. And one of those things that people do is to niche down. So you see people do email marketing for non-profits, email marketing for founders, email marketing for fashion brands, email coding only, email design only, and people begin to niche down into specific industries. But the thing is, I advise you learn everything first, explore it. Because I remember that in the last mentorship, I had one of the students who felt like SaaS was where she wanted to be. And by the time she had explored all the industries, including SaaS, she didn't really feel like she wanted to do it again. And this is something we do in medicine. You know, as a medical doctor, during our training, when we do our 1 year internship, we explore all the different areas of medicine. And then after that, you can then choose to specialize. And that's something we do in the mentorship. So you get to see email marketing for e-commerce, email marketing for online business owners, email marketing for SaaS, and so on. And then you can then choose where it is you want to specialize in. Now, let me let you know what the curriculum of the mentorship is like, because a lot of times people feel like we come here to play. When I tell people, how do you feel about the mentorship? The first thing they tell me is that it's intense. Not because they just want to say, but because that is how I have structurally designed it, so that in 12 weeks, you have something tangible that you can do. In 12 weeks, you have a portfolio of projects that you have worked on. In 12 weeks, your skill builds up, your experience level builds up, and your confidence. Those are three major areas that we will assess, right? And we build and optimize for in the mentorship, because it's not enough to say, I'm just beginning, I want to learn email marketing. Where do I start from? We take you from the very beginning all the way up to the end. So we are teaching you the skill of email marketing and the business of it. So here's what the curriculum looks like. I remember it's 12 weeks. We actually have a 1 week midterm break in between to help you catch your breath. When you want to manage an email list for a client, one of the biggest challenges you'll face is, how do I understand the brand's industry? Say you're working for somebody in the health space. Now, I'm a doctor. I've worked with clients in the health space, but I've also had to work with clients in fashion. I've had to work with software. I've had to work with cake brands and so on. And these are all different places, different industries. So, how do I understand the industry, the needs of the people, and then master the brand voice? And so in week 1, we start with mastering research and brand voice. Then in week 2, we now go into the writing, because the truth of the matter is you want people to open, read, reply, and buy from your email. So how do you write emails that connect and convert? That's what we focus on doing in week 2. Now, a lot of people ask me, Dr. Sapphire, how can I do automations? I don't know how to build automations. How many emails should be my automation? We teach you to do automations that you can set up by yourself and even make custom. So in week 3, we are looking at the automations playbook of building successful email automations and funnels. Then in week 4, this is the week that I know that a lot of people will love. We're looking at the A to Z of email marketing for coaches and online business owners. Week 5, we're now going into the A to Z of email marketing for e-commerce. When we say A to Z, we're looking at what are the softwares they use in this industry? What are the differences in this industry? What are some of the things you need to know while in this industry? And let me put this out. The email marketing mentorship is not theory. Each week, you will have something to add to your portfolio because you're working practicing. You're not just watching a video and learning. You're not just coming to the live call to answer your questions. You are going to have something you are working on, a project regarding to the topic, right? So that at the end of the day, we review it and you can add it to your portfolio as something that you have done that is tangible, something that can show proof of work, proof of your experience, and proof of credibility. And we review it for you so you see how to improve it and fine tune it so that when you are presenting it, it's not like somebody that is starting from scratch. Okay. Now, in week 6, we look at launch secrets because in every industry you will launch. When I was working with Mainstack, right, as their email marketer, we had to launch products and features. When I was working with Dank Lifestyle, we had to launch new products in terms of new skincare products. There are other brands I've worked with. We have to launch a music course, we have to launch a new physical product, a journal, a book, and so forth. So in every industry, launching a new cake line, launching a new cake store, in every industry, you will launch something and you need to learn how to launch. And so we dedicate 1 week to look at launch secrets, whether it's for digital products, physical products, software, you learn to launch. Then in week 7, we focus on strategy. You see, one of the things that differentiates people is strategy because some people know how to write, but not everybody knows how to take it from the top to the bottom, which is understanding the strategy of the campaign first, planning the campaign to be successful before they just write. Is why some people say they are just email copywriters and then some people say they are marketers. Because with the marketing, you're looking at it as I'm not just writing, but I'm trying to execute this campaign that has this goal. And so you create your strategy and begin to execute in line with that. So if you've not done an email strategy before, we'll show you how to plan successful email marketing campaigns. In short, last year, when we did the strategy, one of our students actually took the strategy she created for a brand and put it on her LinkedIn and tagged the brand to it. Do you understand? It's like I created this strategy for so and so brand and this. And by the time any other person sees it, it's like, wow, this is detailed. I would like you to do something for me as well and execute it. The brand can even see it and say, oh, what will it take for you to come on board and execute this strategy for us? We really like what it is that you're doing. Do you understand? Then we go into mastering the metrics. Do you understand? It's not enough for you to plan your strategy. How do you read your numbers? People are like analytics. By the time we dived into analytics last year, it was like people's eyes were open. It's like, this is what you can do from just the numbers you see. These are the optimizations you can make to improve what it is that you're doing. And so we do that in week 8. Then, of course, we look at list building because a lot of times there are 4 key services I offer. I offer strategy, offer copy, I offer tech, and of course, there's the compliance list building and all of that. Now, in all of the things you're delivering, it's up to you to choose, oh, I want to do strategy and copy and tech. Oh, I want to also do this, and that. But it is good that you have the knowledge across board because in the services that I've offered for people, one of it is consultation and advisory, which is someone is saying, oh, Dr. Sapphire, what can I do to build my email list? And I'm saying, do this to build your email list. I cannot tell you to do it if I do not have the knowledge and the experience, which is why we're going to focus in on that in the mentorship from lead magnets to attracting subscribers to join your email list. Then in week 10, we now look at how you position as a professional because it's not enough that you know the skill of email marketing and the experience and the confidence, but how do you market yourself? How do you put yourself out there as a professional that somebody would want to work with, somebody would want to hire? How do you build your brand on LinkedIn? And these are the things that we'll be focusing on. Then how do you acquire clients? Your client acquisition, how do you onboard them? How do you ensure they keep coming back or they stay? I told them in the webinar that I had last that one of the things I started doing was getting clients to pay for 3 months contracts instead of a one-time offer. Because there's a thing of you do a project that is one time and there's something even sweeter where you know that this client is going to pay you every month for the next 3 months, for the next 6 months, for the next 1 year and more, right? By virtue of how you have positioned and the kind of contracts that you have set in place. These are things that you might not do or you might not know how to go about if people don't show you. And these are things we'll look into in the mentorship alongside pricing, how to raise your prices and all of that. Finally, we do certification, but certificates are end. We don't dash you a certificate because you did the mentorship. We give you a certificate because you show you are proficient. And so you will do a final project, which you'll start working on from week 1 of the mentorship and which will be graded at the end for you to qualify for what we call our certificate of proficiency. Do you understand? Now, because one of the biggest things we have had people ask is, Dr. Sapphire, how can I get clients? I've done the mentorship, I want to get clients. And more people, even when they've not done the mentorship, they want to get clients. We decided to partner with 30 experts this year, people who will come in and show you how you can get your clients. Or let me put it this way, they come in and they share with you, this is how I get clients. This is the one thing I do that every time I repeat it, every time I do it, this is the result I will get. And so we don't just want to help you master the skill this year. We want to help you get your first or your next client. And so after the 12 weeks of the mentorship, we now have 6 weeks of the client acquisition challenge. Every day, we're doing something to help you get a client so that at the end of the 6 weeks, you now have the strategies that work particularly for you after exploring every other person's strategy. And we are bringing these guests to come into the chat so that as you explore their strategy, when you have questions, you can ask them, is like, I tried this thing, I'm trying to do this in your strategy. Should I do it like this or like that? Remember, I told you the mentorship is about holding your hand. You can choose to do email marketing alone, or you can choose to work with us and let's do it together so that you spend less time, you move faster, and you have guidance. We also have experts coming in. You can see some of our speakers in the show notes. Okay. Now I'm going to stop here because I want you not just to hear all I've been saying in the past 15 minutes, but to listen to our best graduating student who won our laptop and our best graduating student award for her excellence and dedication to the mentorship. So hear her journey, how she combined it with motherhood and all of that. So you see that it's not just about coming to the mentorship, there's commitment to it. I've had people who were pregnant, I've had people who were students, undergraduates, 9 to 5, NYSC, and all of these people were able to combine it with the mentorship. And so I know that you can combine it too.
Hi, Tena. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good. I'm good. So it's a pleasure to have you here. Tena was, drum roll, she was our best graduate student for the email marketing mentorship class of 2025. And I must say, she put in a whole lot into the mentorship, her tenacity, her drive, the way she supported her team members and other people in the mentorship. It was second to none. Congratulations once again, Tena. I mean, it's been a while since we did the celebration and all.
That period was still one of the redefining period for me when it comes to putting in everything I had. It was like a lifeline.
I'm so glad.
Thank you very much.
So first of all, before we kick off into like your mentorship experience, we'd like to hear your own story. So what it is you do today and how you got into it.
Okay. Well, it's a very short story, I'd say, because I started off as, let's say, before now, I was working as an executive assistant and a paralegal for a law firm where I worked for over a decade. And the turning point for me was when I had my first child. I realized I couldn't go back to the workforce. It was something I just couldn't imagine leaving her behind and going to work or even keeping her in the creche. But over time, after my maternity leave, I still went on to the work. I resumed because obviously, for the right reasons, my firm was kind of family friendly. They had a creche for children and all that. It still wasn't what I wanted. It didn't work for me. So I thought it was time to pack off and leave the 9 to 5, look for something else, or maybe figure out something. So while I did that, I stumbled into virtual assistant. And because I worked for for a number of years as an executive assistant, it was easy for me to start off as a virtual assistant where I started working as an admin assistant, which seemed good, but because of my experience with project management and all that, I delved into project management. It's while a virtual assistant, but I majored in project management. It seemed good. Then for love for tech and every other thing, I was so curious. I was curiosity was my thing. I was just too curious. I couldn't stay there. It all started in 2020 during the COVID-19 because I had my baby May 2020. So I realized that my curiosity was not going to work with project management, neither was it going to work with admin V. I needed something bigger. I needed to take more roles. Then I got into tech V and marketing V. That was where the turning point came, where I realized that I needed to focus more. I saw it as a role I loved, but it wasn't yielding what I expected. Most especially since I was helping clients with their sales funnels and emails. I was working behind the scene, but it had impact. Then I realized that it was time for me to major in what I really loved, and that was email marketing. I obviously loved writing, but email marketing wasn't writing. It just didn't work. So I realized I had to really delve deep into email marketing, and that was what brought me to Sapphire Learning Up.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Because the next question I was going to ask you is, so how did you, discover Sapphire Learning Hub? How did you discover the email marketing mentorship? Your curiosity, I mean, when you say project management, your curiosity, I'm like, I find it really interesting. So just like out of curiosity myself, how exactly did you discover or find the email marketing mentorship?
One thing that struck a chord for me was there was just one day I worked with a client on email marketing, and I was working like I did every other day. I was writing emails and I realized that nothing was happening. Not really nothing was happening. I was not seeing the result we needed. It was an high ticket coaching program, and people were not just going to pay 8,000 euro, 8,000 pounds for a coaching program. And if they were going to pay that, I realized that I needed to write something more compelling, more converting, and it just didn't have to be a template because obviously they gave me templates. She gave me template that you can do it like this and all that. So I said I couldn't do this. One thing I did was I had to search email marketers. I searched for email marketers on LinkedIn. I did that on Instagram. So I got to find your handle via Instagram. Yeah. And I think you were holding a program then, which was email marketing crash course, or was it lab or something? But I know it was a very, very simple course. I just didn't sign up then because it wasn't part of the plan. I just wanted to see what other people were doing. Over time, I saw that you were done with the training. I think it was a 5 days training, and you were done with it. I paid for the replay and did the crash course. It was fine. I think I got basic understanding of what I wanted. Next thing I did was subscribe to the briefcase email marketing mentorship then, but I wasn't in the right place at the moment for that. So I just said, okay, I'll look to it. I think that was the first cohort or so. And when I realized that the next cohort was 2025, I said, okay, I had to jump on this because it is what I wanted. And at that time, I was saying, no, I'm not just going to be the tech VA because I was dealing with invoices. I was dealing with everything. And one problem I had was I wasn't having time again. I was working from home and I wanted to take care of my baby. And I realized that I was working from maybe 9 a.m. to I miss picking up from school. I do not even do school runs and all that. So I realized, guy, this is not what you want to. You need to be able to build something, not be people's hobby and manage people's business, and you're just there. So that's when I said, okay, I needed to jump on the offer for the email marketing mentorship. And so far, so good. Here I am today.
Wow, wow. I mean, this is such an inspiring story because sometimes you hear people, share their challenges and their desires and how it, pushes them towards something. But you never really know the reality of it until you get to hear it. And I think it's commendable that you actually went for what it is that you wanted. So congratulations.
Thank
So
you.
you're welcome. So let's look at how would you describe the email marketing mentorship in your own words? Now, I know that everybody says it's intense, so I don't want you to use intense. How else will you describe it in your own words?
Okay. For lack of a better word, it was a lot. It was rigorous.
So let's break it down.
Okay, let's break it down. Let me hear.
When you say it was rigorous, maybe you tell us a bit of how, like, what the mentorship was like for you, maybe your day-to-day activities, and then why it was rigorous.
Okay. Why I'd say it was rigorous was I was dealing with the home front. I am a mom and I had 2 clients I was working with as their OBM at the time. So I thought it was just one of these courses that you just get into and just figure out how you'll always have your way around it. And one thing that made it difficult for me was because the clients had a lunch at that period. So we're working back to back because it was a huge lunch for her, and I had to take up a lot of work. So I didn't think that the email mentorship, of course, it was said that we would have weekly calls, we would have tasks for the week and all that, but I wasn't expecting it to be so tasking, to be so rigorous. I was like, okay, we can wing it. We do other things, we join master classes and things. But the first week, I was like, okay, first week was okay. Well, we can make it up. We can do it. Then I think from the third week, I was like, God, who sent me?
Your eyes are open.
I was like, okay, let me just see. But the funny thing is, it was so interesting that I was looking forward to the next week. I was looking forward to the next module being dropped. I was looking forward to, okay, what are they going to give us this week? What is next week going to be like? So it was actually very interesting for me. And why I say rigorous is because I feel I had so much I was working on at the time. But of course, we really need to make those sacrifices. So it's one of those beautiful moments.
I find this quite interesting. It was rigorous. You were managing a lunch, 2 clients, and you still came out as the best graduate student.
Yeah, thinking about it, I was like, the truth is, I remember when I signed up for it and they said, best graduate, that there's this prize for the best student. I was like, I don't know if I need to compete with anybody. I just want to learn, get my knowledge and move because it wasn't part of it. But so far, so good. And I was stunned when I heard that. When it seemed that way, I think a member of the group told me something like that. I was like, okay, please, that was not part of what I'm looking to. But so far, it was really interesting. I really enjoyed my time there because I started thinking, what am I going to be doing in my Saturdays? Because, okay, my Saturdays was for the email marketing mentorship. Then my Sundays was for the program, the launch we did. So the membership, I was one anchoring it as well. So every Sundays was locked up, and Saturdays I had the mentorship. So it was really wild. Oh, thank God.
So how were you keeping up with the assignments? Because you had one every week.
Okay. I know one thing about me is my peak hour is usually the early mornings, mostly from 1 a.m. to 4. So I realized that I had to make use of those time very wisely. So that was how I actually kept up with the assignment because I couldn't do it during the day, but I focused that I threw out a schedule and I said, okay, this time to this time every day. So I think I scheduled an hour, 30 minutes every day for study, assignment, anything that had to do with email mentorship. So it was 1 hour, 30 minutes daily. But sometimes I realized that I'll even use 3 hours just in one day. So do readings and studying even before we think about the assignment. So it was really understanding my peak hours and working with it.
I really love this example because it's something we hear about, not just for the mentorship, but generally, like walking around your peak hours, walking when you know like your energy levels are way up.
Yeah,
For example, for me, that would be early hours of the morning. So I wake up early hours of the morning when the whole world is silent. There's a clarity that you just have in that time. And I try not to use it doing things that can just, let's say, fog my brain or something. Then the other would be after I sleep and wake up. If we're saying peak hours, early hours, then sleeping, waking up. Like
yeah,
this one, I woke up really early. I'm like, I'm not doing anything that is going to be draining me when I can use this energy. So I'm not interested in checking emails, replying to messages. I just want to put this, the way my brain is now into the strategy that I'm planning. And you
yeah,
just walk so fast, so easily because there's just clarity. So I really like that you shared this. So we had 4 guest experts coming to the mentorship. We had Iman Ismail. She talked about I think it was building a business. We had the other Sapphire, Odunayo. I used to call her the other Sapphire actually.
yeah,
Odunayo. She talked about e-commerce. Email
yeah,
marketing. We had Mira talk about SaaS, and Fiza came in and told us a whole lot of things from deliverability to, I mean, it was just a whole lot. So I'm just wondering, which session was your favorite and why?
I don't know, but it will be difficult for me to select my favorite because every speaker came with their level of wisdom
Mm,
and knowledge
yeah,
with each of the whatever it is that we're going to talk about. I realized that for Eman, Ismail, I think her name was Ismail also.
yeah, Iman Ismail.
Yeah, I enjoyed the fact that she talked from the perspective of a solopreneur growing into a business, not an agency. I liked it so much because it was something I really, really love to venture. Then the SaaS lady came on. I was like, there's so much here. Then the other Sapphire came on. I was
Yeah.
like, oh God, don't you think I would just focus on e-commerce?
I can imagine. I can imagine.
At the point I was torn. I was torn between what do you really want to do? Because it became something like this is too much. Then, but if I'm supposed to choose, I'm sorry, I can't choose from them. I
Okay.
can't choose.
And then when Fiza came in, her topic was becoming an in-house email marketer. But because of her experience, we now touched on deliverability, we
Yeah.
talked on the tech side of things. And it was just like her all-round, experience and all of that. And I mean,
I read a book around that and I realized that you need a little experience from every phase of this, whether we like it or not. Whether we say, oh, you don't want to work in an agency, you want to work for e-commerce and you don't want to work with SaaS, you don't want to work with personal brand. You don't want to even build your own business around email marketing. At the end of the day, we can only choose from what we have tested and tried. So if you say you're just focusing on building your own business, you would not know what is outside it, not until you have tried and experienced it. That is where I became torn. Like, what do you really want to do, this girl? And like, I remember I said, don't you think I will focus on e-commerce? E-commerce looks interesting. I really loved it. I said, okay, let us see. We evolve. So
so now that we are on this, it's 5 months plus after the mentorship. What did you finally choose? Or are we still evolving?
okay, this is a tough question, but I'll try my best to answer it as simple as I can. Why I say this is I have experience working with coaches, consultants, course creators as a
Yeah.
VA, as a marketing VA. I had that experience, so it was a safety net for me. I saw it as a safety net that I already understood the business. I already understood what they were doing. I already understood some strategies. working with them already. So it
Okay.
was this very good comfort zone for me to start out. Do you understand? It was
Yeah.
very cozy for me. I could try my hands around it. Then I started seeing that somebody from e-commerce tapped me up. They just sent me a DM and I was like, "Ah, this is e-commerce." So I did not even put in my profile that I am working with an e-commerce brand. What is this actually? So I realized that one thing I think I found out from it was if you like you're working with this person, just these persons, the people that still see you are like the person that this person is my kind of person, they will still want to come and see if you can work with them. But personally, right now, I work. I finally choose to work as a solopreneur, working with coaches, consultants, course creators, personal brands. Wow, so far it's interesting. So far it has been interesting. And I'm still looking at the e-commerce side. I'm like, don't you think I'll still apply to one agency or the other? Funny thing is, I still think about it. Well, I just want to get myself wet in one sphere before filling into the others.
Oh, I find that really interesting. I find that really interesting. You had the opportunity to intern with one of our partner brands. How was the internship for you?
It was interesting. I liked her actually. We kind of bonded. Like we bonded so well. And it was a beautiful experience because okay, so I understood her business. It was someone that she was, do I say, my ideal client persona. So it was easy to work with her and I enjoyed it. So I think what I created for her then was we did a few projects together, but one of the things I really focused on was doing a re-engagements campaign with her.
Okay.
Excuse me. Then I think, yeah, we worked on a new lead magnet, which was a quiz that had to go to different parts of our programs. So yeah, the internship was actually very beautiful. She was always saying good things, and I'm like, "Are you sure you're just saying this because I'm interning and all that?" It was interesting. Oh God, I enjoyed my time.
Okay, okay. Are you sure you're always saying good things? Are you trying to make me feel better?
I don't know.
Well, she
I
did
really
have good
don't.
things to say, so I mean, she did have good things to say and she didn't complain. So, was there any week in the mentorship that really tested your patience, your capacity, made you question yourself, you know, things like that?
Hmm. I questioned myself from the fourth week down.
Oh my God. I think
Question.
the fourth week was when we started Launch Secrets, right? So the
Yeah,
fourth week was
yes.
about launching for
Yeah.
e-commerce coaches and SaaS. Oh, okay.
Where I felt useless. And I said, no, this is not for me. I can't remember the week, but it was the week we focused on SaaS. Ouch. I was like, thank you, God. You just showed me that I should not go to.
Oh my. Oh my. I feel like SaaS was generally difficult for a lot of people because it was abstract, so to say.
Yeah.
A lot of people use software, they receive some of the emails, but they can relate more with the coaches, the consultants. It seems so easy to break in. And then maybe part of it was the fact that if they had gotten to see fully, so I know we did demos and all of that, but maybe if we had gotten, hmm, I don't even know. I don't even know if we had gotten words, but maybe it's the tech. Maybe it's the tech around SaaS.
For me, was it a tech? I really don't know, but it was just something not here. It was there. And I'm here. It was, I don't know. I questioned myself in that week. I remember with my teammates, I told them, I don't know what to do here. I can't say anything. Please take it up. Because I don't know if we had a team assignment that week.
Yeah, I think there was an assignment. Every week
I was
had.
like, I couldn't just see myself functioning there. So when some of my team members were asking me questions, I said, I don't know. I can't help. But I realized that after it, I started doing some research around SaaS after the program because I hate it when I have difficulty in something. It makes me want to know why. Maybe that's the curiosity in me. So I started research. I started watching YouTube videos and all those tech founders, softwares, and all that. Then I started subscribing to pay attention. Then I know I was receiving emails from some of the softwares, but I really didn't pay attention. So with all that was going on, I said, okay. I started putting 3 and 4 together and said, okay, maybe it's not so hard, but for now, I'm not going there. So,
For now. So what would
yeah.
you say was your favorite week and your favorite thing about the mentorship?
My favorite week was the research. I think that was the first or second week.
Yeah, I think it was the first week. The
Yeah.
first week was mastering research and brand voice.
It was the research because I realized that we tend to jump into things without understanding the story behind it. Most especially me, when I was working with those clients before the email marketing mentorship. So I'll just read up, look at some social media posts, and okay, get the understanding of the person. And I think that serves it. It made me understand more that research has a long way to go. Research is the foundation. And if you don't get it right, there is nothing you can do that will make you be able to, you can. Do you understand? You will not just pull something off of the top of your head and start writing, even if you are a good writer, even if you have worked with somebody around that industry before. I realized that where I really had problems was around research. So it became very interesting. I won't lie to you, I still use the master
Research
research
document.
worksheets. I still, even for my brand.
Nice, nice.
I never get so used to it. I always go back to it as okay, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to do that. I remember I was supposed to write. I realized this is it. If you can get the research right, understand the brand, you are 40% there. And 40% is a lot because why do I say 40% is a lot? Is because the copy, yes, it does a lot. You have to understand the psychology behind everything and be able to understand what you want to do. But if I can get 40% from just research, I think I've done well.
Yeah, yeah. I like to tell people like an empty vessel cannot pour. So what do you want to write when you
Yeah.
don't know?
That was my best week. Yeah. The research was my
Ah,
best week.
so I'm going to read out something you wrote when we were doing the 12th week. So usually after each week we do like an assignment, but in this particular one we had like a kind of survey. And the question was, Amina would like to know, before you started this mentorship, how did you see email marketing? Can you tell us a bit of how your life was then? And you said that as at then you were struggling to monetize your skills a bit. You knew how to write, but didn't know how to turn it into a structured service. There was no confidence in pricing. You were hesitating to pitch because you didn't have frameworks and you're undercharged. You weren't confident in your automation knowledge and you didn't do full on automations, but you would set up the basic welcome sequence, webinar emails, if at all, and zero metric focus. I find this one quite interesting. If an email didn't convert, I will blame the audience, not the copy or strategy. But the turning point was that the mentorship rewired your brain, and now you see email marketing as the backbone of online business. It's not just emails, it's relationship, psychology, and predictable revenue. Please, I have to read this again. This is so powerful. He said, it's not just emails, it's relationships, psychology, and predictable revenue. My life today, I have systems, confidence, and results to show for it. It feels like the email marketing mentorship did a lot.
That part, that question, I think I said so much, and I can't even remember saying those things. But
I can,
I
no,
know,
it's been a while.
I know that I tend to say a lot, most especially when not necessarily overwhelmed, but when I started, the first person I ever worked with as an email marketer before the email mentorship, we're running a campaign. And she said, nobody is buying. It was a launch campaign. They click on the link and they do not purchase. Nobody purchases product. Then I'll say, maybe we should work on your copy, your sales page, because they open the email in the first place. And when they open the email, they go through to the sales page. So she said it was a dead list. And I was like, maybe it is. I actually tried to shift the blame off me. I'll look at the metrics. Open rate is 35%, click through rate 0.33%. It was just there. And after all, I didn't know much around it. I was just trying to walk around what basic knowledge I had. But after the email marketing mentorship, I got to understand that I was making mistakes on my own end. I was just trying to sell. Just pitching them that this is what we have, this is what we are selling. Are you going to buy? If you're not going to buy, okay, there is this other thing that is lower that you can purchase and all that. But I realized that a lot goes into psychology, understanding the people you are selling to first, understanding why or how they react to some things, some products, and why they react that way. Then I realized that you just don't wake up from the blue and start selling to people. That's where the relationship comes in. And if you can get these two right, you can be able to predict the purchases, the sales that comes
Right.
out from anything you are doing. Because you know that one thing I realized is people see email as just where to teach, just to tell people about their product. But I realized that you can forget all these WhatsApp community people are building. If you know what you are doing, you build a very strong community with your email list, in your email list. So I got to understand that, and I got to pay attention more to metrics. I realized that I wasn't good at the data, understanding the data, and it wasn't just click through rate. It wasn't just open rates. It wasn't just people clicking on it. It was they saw this thing. First, they saw who it was sent from, who sent it to their email. That is the first thing that they noticed from first, before even the subject line, or sometimes the subject line, I think. So first, you should build a relationship that makes them have your, what's the word? The best word for it. To be able to recognize that this is the person talking to me. Do you understand? Building that relationship, understanding the people you have in your list. That way, I realize that when it comes to sales with email, it's very simple on like the social media. I really know what to go there, but I know I'm anti-social media. So I saw that email marketing was more predictable for me. So with understanding your audience, it was a lot more predictable.
I love
So
it. I love it. I mean, this is so powerful. This is so powerful. So we would say that the investment was worthy of your time.
of course, it was. I mean, have you met me?
Can you say that
Was
again?
it was because after the mentorship, I realized that okay, I even let go of one of my clients.
Oh,
See,
wow.
I'm not going to do tech again. I'm not interested in that. And I wasn't even interested in working with the person because we're not aligning for some reasons. So I was like, okay, except it's even going to what I'm open to right now is email marketing. I see that it will build me faster than to want to still hold on to what I have and keep working while I try to get other people to come on board for my services. So, and it really builds structure for me. Yeah.
Great. That's great. So if we want to find Tena today, I mean, I know I keep calling you Tena. Her name is actually Joy. And I think Tena is from like your LinkedIn, or was it your Instagram, Tena DV or something like that?
Yes. Yes. Instagram.
So yes. But how can we find you? How can we connect with you?
About my name. My name is Joy, but I love to go by Tena because I realized that I liked the name so much more than Joy. So, my social media, if you want to reach me, it's most especially on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn and at Tena Koluma. Yeah.
Okay. And what we'll also do is we'll be adding the links in the show notes, how you can connect her, check out her link in bio, check out her socials, and all the work that she does. We're going to be putting that in the show notes to make it easy for you, just in case maybe you can't exactly spell or you're wondering. I don't think you'll see two. I don't think you'll find two people answering her name, but just in case there are other people who are answering Joy, Tena, Boloma, right? We'll be putting the links there. It has been such a pleasure to, have this conversation with you. And as a final wrap up, we'd like to know in 60 seconds, what is your tip for anybody who wants to join the next email marketing mentorship? And how can they win at it?
Wow, that's a very, very good question that I hadn't thought. But off of the top of my head right now, I'd say it should have to be focused.
Okay.
If you do not know why you're signing up for it, you'll end up not even doing it. You should know your why. Yes. Understand time management because you get lost if you do not manage your time. But overall, it's one of the very, very great training when it comes to email marketing because it's all encompassing and you should really try it out. But understanding your why is the best way to go because at the end of the day, you just want to break off. That help you stay guarded. Yeah.
What we call it? Training, a master class, a webinar, a challenge.
Maybe a mastermind.
Oh, okay. High level, next level.
I want to call it a master class because you just don't sit and listen. You do the work.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. It has been, like I said earlier, a joy to have Joy on the podcast. Until next time,
Thank you.
you're welcome. If you want to connect with her, all the links are in the show notes for you. And every information you need to know about the mentorship will also be in the show notes. See you next time, same place. Bye.
Fine. Thank you.
Now I'm going to allow you listen to something that I told them in the last webinar I had, which I have been referring to. And during the course of what I'm about to say, what you're about to listen to, you will see that I will tell you how you can get the discount code. Because you're listening to this podcast episode and it shows you're interested in the mentorship, I want to support you by giving you a 25% off the email marketing mentorship. We have two tickets, a regular ticket, which is 12 weeks of email marketing mentorship, and a VIP plus ticket, which is the 12 weeks of email marketing mentorship plus the 6 weeks of the client acquisition challenge I talked about earlier, right? Whichever one you choose, you get 25% off the price. And we have a one-time payment plan. You can also split the payment into two, day 0, day 30. You can split it into three, day 0, day 30, day 60, whichever one is more convenient for you. But what I would do for you is give you a 25% discount on the email marketing mentorship. Important things to remember: the discount code will expire on the 18th. Secondly, aside the fact that the discount code will expire, we only have 40 slots available for the email marketing mentorship. Okay? So go ahead and listen to this final thing that I'm about to say.
Well, first of all, let me tell you 7 things about email marketing mentorship. I told you that at the end of this session, before I start answering your question, I will tell you how you can join email marketing mentorship, and I will give you a special discount code. But 7 things you need to know about marketing mentorship. First of all, is that it is intense and it is practical. If you're not ready to do hard work, don't come. If you don't think you're disciplined enough, if you listen to some of those stories, I had people who were pregnant. I had people who were juggling their 9 to 5. I had people who were juggling school at the mentorship, and they did it. So I know that you can. If you're not ready to commit to the 12 weeks of hard work so that you move fast, it's not for you. It is practical. Look at number 2. You don't just learn, you practice and you get feedback. We have weekly calls every single week. We show you how to do email marketing across 3 core industries. We give you opportunities to work with real clients. However, it's on merit basis. So if you merit it, you get internship opportunities. But minus that, each week you're still working on a project. We'll hold your hand, it's a promise. We'll push you until something happens in your email marketing journey. It's not something that I joke about. It's something I have done and will do again. And this year, we are committed to helping you get your first or your next client through the client acquisition challenge. And there are 2 ways you can join in: the regular ticket and a VIP ticket. There's a one-time payment option, 2-time payment, or 3-time. What that means is you can pay all the money once, you can split it into 2 or into 3. These are 7 things you need to know about the email marketing mentorship. Okay? And so if you want to join the email marketing mentorship, class of 2026, it holds only once a year. It holds only once a year. If you want to join, all you have to do is use this form that I'm about to share. Just putting your name on the form, and you'll be sent an email with the discount code. The discount code gives you 25% off the mentorship. Right? So when you fill in the form, you will get an email with the discount code and the link you can use to specially sign up and join the email marketing class of 2026. We're only having 40 slots because we want to ensure we can hold everybody's hand individually. And like I said, we'll push you until something happens in your email marketing journey.
You're going to have a link in the show notes that would allow you to get the discount code. All you need to do is sign up on that link and you'll get access to the discount code. For you listening to this podcast, the code is going to expire 11:59 p.m. on the 18th of January 2026 GMT +1. Now, if you want to build skill, experience, and confidence, and you would rather do it with us, with other people who are on the same journey with you, than trying to figure it out all by yourself and alone, then I invite you to join the email marketing mentorship class of 2026. You won't regret coming, and I look forward to having you in the class of 2026. See you there. Hi, Dr. Sapphire here. Thank you so much for listening to yet another episode of Email Marketing Experiment. I'm going to ask a favor. Please leave a rating and a comment on this podcast. It goes a long way to help increase visibility for our podcast so that we can reach even more people. Till next time, this is still Email Marketing Experiment. Think it, test it, and share it.